Recently, I got to sit down with my friend Ron Shova via a Skype call, and in our about 30-minute conversation, we talked a lot about what it takes to succeed in this business, how to get into balloon twisting, and ultimately what it's going to take for you to pursue it as a career. This is one not to miss, so stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome to the Magic Minute, where we take tricks and turn them into real magic. My name's Alan, and if this is your first time on the channel, I'm a full-time professional magician, and I share my tips, tricks, and tutorials on how to elevate your magic to that next level. So if that sounds interesting to you, hit the subscribe button and that little bell icon. That way you don't miss a single video. Today we're talking about a good friend, Ron Shova. We have about a 30-minute Skype call. Every minute is absolute gold. I'm going to stop talking and just enter right into the video. Today we're talking to my good friend Ron Shova. He is a 28-year veteran of balloon twisting. He is a registered entertainer with Fremont Street experience in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's got 3 Guinness World Records, and he's going for a 4th. Ron, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Alan.
Good to see you too. In a manner of speaking, it's been a little while since we've got to talk.
Right.
Phone calls are only go so far, and this is only a half step better, but it's something. So. Right. So, Ron, thanks for coming to share your experience and some of your knowledge with us. I knew that I have this whole base of hobbyist magicians who are just absolutely curious about what you do and what they can do to maybe add this to their stuff. I know you do this 100% full time, and that's
right.
More than enough for you. But I know a lot of magicians, they need that skill, or they want that skill. You actually started as a magician, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah. About 10, 12 years, I was doing magic along with the balloons, and when I was doing more of the private stuff before going into corporate. But after setting the first world record, the balloons just kind of won out and took me in just one direction.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, most people do some kind of blend of the two, right? I think balloon twisting originally was called balloon magic.
Yeah.
There was a magician who did. So how did it win out for you? Because I think forgive me for saying, but kind of an unusual example. I think most people would think that balloon twisting would be supplementary, but you just kicked total butt being just a full-time balloon twister. The numbers, I mean, I won't talk about them on here, but you make more than a lot of professional magicians just doing just straight balloons.
Right.
So how did that come about?
I'm going to quote something by Jeff McBride. We all know a ton of magic tricks. Find one thing, do it better than anybody else, and you'll find your niche. Well, that doesn't apply just to magic. That applies to life, regardless of what you're doing as an entertainer. Find one thing and do it better than anybody else. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm very passionate about what I do, and I overthink everything. You've seen the work, what I used to work out of my balloon rigs and everything, because I'm thinking about my presentation, I'm thinking about my speed, and I think ultimately making the client happy. And just taking those principles and applying them shot me in a direction where the magic got phased out. Where I was being asked to do balloons more than anything else.
Well, you gotta go where the money is, then, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Wow, and for anybody watching this who's not familiar with Ron's work, not only just his balloon sculptures, but also what he does with these custom balloon rigs. They're incredible. You mentioned them a little bit, but I want to tell the audience about them. They're you were working on one the last time I talked to you, and you're kind of suspending that for a little while. But can you tell us a little bit about what those rigs are, why you make them, what they're like, and I mean, kind of give us an overview, because they're like the Batmobile for balloon twisters.
Now, I'm going to reference another magician, Dan Harlan, pack small, play big. What I was wanting was a rig that I could work out of that had everything that worked for me personally. Originally, when I started developing the concept, I was wanting lights to shine over my balloons when I'm working at night. To me, I think it's very unprofessional to take your cell phone flashlight and shine your balloons when you're working at an evening event, especially when technology is what it is. It's nothing hard about going and buying just a AA battery clip light if you're going to do that. But I took it a step further. it has its own individual power source, which allows me to put lights on all my balloons and exterior lights to match my attire. Um, but then I can also recharge my cell phone, with it. This particular unit has got a 500-watt sound system in it, two huge speakers, a 8-inch head unit in it, so I can actually go through and theme my music. So if it's a holiday event, a Christmas event, I can sit there and be playing the holiday music. Typically for me and my job, most of what I do, I have to dress as an elf during the holidays. I'm not
Right,
crazy about
right.
it, but it's part of the job, pays the bill. But
Part
to
of the
be able
job.
to
Yeah.
stream that music, especially in a line work situation, works tremendously. And sometimes you show up in an event and the DJ didn't even show up or whatever, and that you become the DJ for the party or the background music or whatever. It's just a solid selling point. Works for me. I don't know if it would work for everybody else, but it's a self-contained all-in-one unit. I walk in, I'm set up in less than 30 seconds. And when it's time to go, I'm out in less than 30 seconds, to set up, tear down. And it's everything I need to work. And there's not many people in the world to make anything like this. And I'm real proud of it. You've seen me develop them over the years.
Yeah,
And
a lot of them.
I'm really happy with the current one. I This one, I got some money into it. I got a couple grand into this one, but it paid for itself in a week.
There you go. And what I'm hearing is what what I hope is important that my audience is picking up on is how much experience has gone into your thinking process. This is
Yes.
not just something you decided to, oh yeah, I'll make a balloon rig. Like there was a clear need, a clear
Yes.
defined need, and you solved it. You solved several of them. You have the sound system so that we can have themed music or make announcements about where you are,
Yes.
or like you were telling me about being able to play like a Cowboys game like on the radio.
Yes. Yeah.
So that way,
It's Sunday. The Cowboys are playing. We're hired for a corporate event. It's got 10,000 people in it. Dad's out with the family, because mom wanted to take the kids out. Of course, he wants to be glued to the TV. He wants to know the Cowboys score. But you're at a public event. There's no TVs around. Nobody. And what do we all do? Hey, what's the Cowboys score? So
Yep.
what this does is I'm actually able to play the game right through the sound system so people can hear it while they're out interacting with the event, or come up and even if they're not listening, they come, hey, what's the score? Ask me while I'm working. But my thought process behind this is presentation is everything. In my opinion, it's 50% of what you're known for and how you get judged on. It shows you take your job serious. And
Yeah.
Then when you implement your craft, whether you're a magician, you couldn't use something like this in strolling magic, but
No.
something like this will work for stage. I have got jugglers have asked me to build these for them just for the sake they don't need all the extras that I put into it, but it works well for jugglers. Face painters, one of their biggest issues that they have is they don't have lighting. They don't have light to shine on the face. They don't have lights to shine on their.
Pretty important.
It's very important. And again, you get back to if you don't have a power source, then what do? I also have a power inverter in this, which allows me to where I can plug in 110 devices. I built these units Alexa controlled, voice activated, and just hotspotted my phone as the internet source. So, but the power inverter allows me to go in different directions. In the next model that I put out, it's going to have AC and heat. So, depending on what I'm working, I'm going to have the power to be able to cool myself while I'm working when it's over 100 degrees, or when I'm outside and it's 40 degrees. I'm going to be able to have some heat blowing on me as well. Anything is possible. It all comes down to how much weight, because it's all about battery weight. The more you're plugging in, all these things take wattage to work. So you got to put enough battery in there to supply all that. But it's fun. So imagine anything you want. I mean, I think it's great. And I looked into this. So like on my wife's hiring a pilot, you hit the button and the back automatically opens and it automatically closes. If I wanted to put that in and make the lid do that, I could.
Presentation.
But that's about $2,000, and $2,000 is a lot of money for one effect. So
Well,
it's not
sure.
something. Yeah,
So you're not going to do it for another year or two.
yeah. I think I'm gonna pass on that idea.
Oh man. Well, I
I
know.
don't think
I,
don't think
go
my
ahead,
wife
please.
would let me do that one.
Yeah, there's that too. My wife wouldn't let me get half the stuff that I want to do.
That's right.
That's okay. That's okay. I think we would spin out of control with all the projects and rabbit holes we would go down if we didn't
Right.
have some kind of limiting factor. So,
Right.
uh,
But also in
well,
the development of this, real quick, and then we'll move on.
yeah.
Is why did the Masked Magician go out and do that series? What was his reason behind that? And the reason I understood it is when he was exposing a lot of those effects, wanted to force the magic community to come up with new ideas. Because they're simply sitting there taking techniques that are 100 years old and just reworking them, maybe putting their little touch on it, or maybe not. But technology is better than it ever has been right now. And we can take that technology and utilize it and come up with more effects. And, there are effects with the iPhone and different things that you can do for card tricks and all. And it forced people to think outside the box and take a concept, put a new beginning into it, put a new ending with it, and become something. So my point on something like this is take the technology that is available to us right now and implement it into what you're doing, whether it's your effect, whether it's your presentation. Make yourself a better entertainer by improving your presentation.
All right, from the man himself. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out Ron, I want to be able to leave a link for people down below if they want to
All right.
See one of your rigs. Is there a way that I can send them to?
To see the actual balloon rig, you can send them, and you've got these links that you can add them at the end. If they go into my video history of my personal Facebook, my business page is I've got two: Balloon Insanity or Ron Shova Presents Balloon Insanity. In the videos, there's actually videos in there of all my rigs, especially the current one, and you get to see how all. At least get to see it function. Here real soon, I'll probably go through and demo it and put a demo out on it. I get people that ask me to build these for them. Honestly, I've got $2,000 in this one. In order for me to take the time and the effort to build one for them, it's going to be $3,000 is what I'm going to have to charge them. And
right,
who's got $3,000? To invest into it. This is mine. This is for me. This works for me. It may not work for somebody else.
Fair enough. But I'd love to have people see how much care and attention that you put into your presentation. So we'll leave links down below for that, and whatever's available, whenever it's available, there'll be links down in the description.
And see it, pictures of it, and actually see it working. There is videos in there already.
Okay, wonderful. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about for people who maybe haven't really got into balloon twisting yet. They're thinking about it. They maybe got some supplies together. They know some simple designs. What kind of resources would you suggest or recommend for them to grow in their knowledge?
Unlike magic, you can go to YouTube and it's all there. There's tutorials there showing you from the basics to the advanced. With magic, when you go to YouTube, you're going to go see an awesome effect, but you're not going to see how it's done, because that's what magic is. You pay for the secret to it. But YouTube is a great resource for material. Go on Facebook and find other balloon artists. Go through their pictures, find their style. Hey, I like the way this guy does things. Most of these balloon artists have tutorials where you can subscribe and pay for tutorials where they'll send those to you and teach you how to do those as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
If you don't have the money up front, YouTube's an excellent resource. And I still use it from time to time for inspiration.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done a very little balloon twisting. I had an excellent teacher in Ron. He showed me the ropes, and then when I wanted to pick up certain designs or find a design that was like, say, a one balloon, which is a big deal in line work, to being able to do a balloon design with one balloon. I was researching YouTube too. So
Right.
yeah, it's a fabulous venue for that. So thank you.
But
Wanted to also ask you.
on that
Oh,
real
sorry.
quick, on that real
Yeah.
quick, and even with my daughter, who her stepfather and myself both did this. She grew up with the magic background. She grew up with the balloon background, and even with you, you know firsthand that you can take just basic styles, maybe know 6 or 7, and go into a restaurant venue and walk out with a minimum of 100. Just knowing the
Yeah.
basics.
Well, well, that's what I wanted to ask you about too, because that's what's I found is so incredible is that you have your magic is a lot the same way. If you know 6 or 7 routines
Yes,
better than anybody, you can make a whole career off of 6 or 7 effects
that's
that you
right.
do your whole career. But I wanted to ask you, this is kind of a nice segue, because I wanted to ask you about restaurant work for those who are
Yeah,
looking into, not right now, of course, but whenever
right.
restaurants open back up. Um, how do you go about getting a restaurant gig? Either as well, I've handled the magician side of it, but let's talk about the balloon side.
Right.
How do you get a restaurant as a balloon artist? What does that look like? What's your relationship with the restaurant itself? How do you go about making money?
Um, it's probably going to be a little different. It's very difficult these days to get a restaurant to pay. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. A company based out of Florida called Balloon Distractions came into every market. And what they did was they went in and they got the restaurants to allow entertainers to come in. That restaurant paid that company $25 an hour that you're there or whatever. You worked for tips. But they did, it's a great concept. So basically, it's an agent handling your restaurant schedule. And it's a great concept, but the
Yeah.
way they managed it was so awful, and they ended up leaving a bad taste in everybody's mouth. In fact, the owner went on Shark Tank pitching the idea and got laughed off the stage.
Mm,
So it's difficult. So here's how I go about it. I'm not going to say where I'm at, but my current restaurant I've been at 7 years, and I that was a gift to me. I knew the balloon artist that was there beforehand because I worked with his wife through my agent, and worked with him as well. And when they decided to relocate to another state, he gave that to me. But if you're going to go out and get a restaurant, um, don't call. If you call, you're giving them the opportunity to tell you no. Once they tell
hmm
you no, there's no coming back.
Yeah.
You don't you don't go up there on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday ever at any time because they're prepping for their weekend and everything. The best time to go up there is Monday through Thursday, not holidays, and not when they're busy. You don't go up there at 1 o'clock when they're in the middle of their lunch rush. A good time would be, from say 3 to 5 would be a good window to check in. You want to make something up, have something prepared, ready to go, walk in and ask for the manager and leave that as a gift. And this is what I do. And, I work for tips and whatever. If you want to try to see about getting them to pay you, you can. But if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to get somebody to pay you. There are certain entertainers that do get paid. I am fortunate enough where with I'm at that I don't need to charge, that the tips that I'm making are very good and I don't have to worry about it. But that's the best way to go about it. To get started would be to go out and work for tips. You need that experience. That experience is what made me one of the fastest balloon artists in the world and has gave me 3 Guinness World Records, is because I built my speed in a restaurant. Time is money. The faster I can get done with this table, I get to the next table before they leave and have the opportunity to get their money before it walks out the door. Somebody once told me, that's your money in their pocket and you got to figure out how to get it out.
Awesome. I think this is super useful, because I know a lot of people who watch this channel are either semi-pro or deciding to go pro, and
Right.
this is just super valuable information. So thank you for sharing.
Well,
I want to
another
ask
thing.
you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please finish your thought, and then
Oh, I have one more thought. Where do you want to be in life? You got to think about where you're going. What do you want? Where do you see yourself going? What do you want? How bad do you want it? We all want to lose weight. but none of us want to get on that treadmill. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want the things you say you want? And what are you willing to do to go get it? And that's what you got to keep in your mind. You keep that in your mind, and every day you make steps to do that, then you'll reach your goal. I've been off work a month now. As you, all entertainers are shut down, but every day I have been productive, and I've got things going on and making connections and everything, booking shows, and it's just in working on my skill set, getting better. It's something we constantly have to do.
That's awesome. See, that speaks to a true professional. You're not resting on your laurels and just kicking your feet up. You're still at work.
You limit yourself when you stop learning. You limit yourself when you say, I'm just gonna binge watch Netflix all day.
It sounds nice, but you're not going to be anywhere different in 5 years, right?
I don't know it all, and I still got a lot of work to do. And that's with all of us. We can do this for 70 years, and when we die, we're still not going to know it all. So we have to get better, to get more successful. You got to be willing. We're self-employed. We make our own paycheck, so it all comes down to how bad do we want it? How bad do we want the things they say we want?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who they just think it'll just fall in their lap. Well, if I will it into existence, that it's going to happen. And it's like, no, okay, well, you're thinking that everybody else is going to walk right past you onto the way to get what you want.
Those accounts that you are wanting, those other people are going to go out and get those accounts because they're out there doing the necessary things to get those accounts, which I'm not going to get into marketing schemes or any of that right now.
Sure.
You can do that on another segment. But those you have to get out there and do it if you want it.
Got to do the legwork.
It's not going to come to you.
No shortcuts for hard work, huh?
None.
Imagine that. Well, what I wanted to ask you about is because we've talked a little bit about like different types. You were talking about line work and about how you got your speed up. But can you talk a little bit about what types of forms balloon twisting can take at a professional venue? Because I know there's like line work. You do more like elaborate like set pieces. There's arches. Would you talk about that a little bit? What each of those categories and kind of how they fit into your schedule?
Sure. When you do like arches and columns and decor, that is balloon decor. It's still in the balloon industry, but that's a whole different animal and a whole different skill set. You still have to attend classes and learn exactly how that's done and how to do your framework and everything. It pays better in line twisting because but it's fun, it's beautiful, and there's a lot of competition in that industry. But definitely, if you enjoy that kind of stuff, go for it. There are tutorials on YouTube as well, teaching all that from being frameless or with a frame and how to do a lot of that. For my career, I'm a corporate line twister for the most part. So you hire me to come into your event, a corporation. I'm still dealing with the kids primarily, but my job is to keep your line weight down, take care of every child so we don't have upset parents. We don't have an hour, 2 hour line weight, which there are artists out there who do it. Won't mention any names. But my job is to take care of the client and take care of their guest and not have them in line for an hour. So an example of one event I did this year, 10,000 people on a 4th of July event. There's 4 balloon artists. Everybody's wait was an hour. Mine was 15 minutes. And, 10,000 people, showing up. And the whole time we're doing the event, I've got the sound system playing. My menu boards are digital. They're word menus. They're not drawn out pictures. And say, Alan, you're a balloon artist and I'm a balloon artist and we're hired for the same event. We're working side by side and I've got a menu board up with pictures. Everybody's going to look at my picture and assume you're making the same thing, even though you're making different balloons. And then what you make, the dinosaur you make may look different than the one I make, and that's where the problem comes in. Now
Yeah.
you and I could be side by side with my display board with a word menu saying that dinosaur. There's no expectations on it.
Right. It could be anything.
It could be anything. You're a dinosaur. I'm my dinosaur. So that's one of the things, quick, direct. I use an iPad interface, and it's all there for them to come up. They can read the menu. The choices are there for a boy. Choices are there for a girl, depending on what the event is. And that's a judgment call I make at the beginning is which menu board am I going to use? I've got a 1-minute menu or something that takes less than a minute, 2 to 3 minutes, and 4 to 5. And then I put those boards up. And then restaurant work, that's a different animal in itself. You're still doing the same thing, but again, there are so many things with restaurants. I can sit here and tell you about it, but it's a learning game. You got to know when to go to the table, when to stay out of the people's way. And your job is to get in and get out, because you're not the only one that needs to get to that table. There's other entertainment there. You need to allow time for that other entertainment to get in there, because they're working to make a living just as you are. And if the server is working that table to make a living to get their tip, because they're paid $2.50 an hour or whatever it is, they're not making any money. So we have to be respectful to each other. And that's something that can be done. You can do it. I can do it in conjunction. Yeah, in the future, I would suggest making a video on that, just training on how to do that type of work.
Yeah, well, I think that would be extremely useful, and maybe we can work together.
Yeah.
Back when we can be in the same room together, and this whole social distancing is behind us. But I would be really interested in helping you produce some kind of training series or video or something. Right. So, well, we'll keep that under our hat for now. But awesome. Wow, we went over a lot of stuff. Yeah, I want to make sure. Is there any other things that you wanted to talk about or mention? Or I want to make sure that we let everybody know about your company, which is Balloon Insanity. And you're kicking booty with that, or you were kicking booty with that until everybody got slowed down. And but you're still doing stuff. You're still doing stuff right now.
Right now, yeah.
To make sure
I've got deliveries made. In fact, when we get done here, I got another delivery that came up. I've got to do an Enchanted Rose, for delivery tomorrow. I've got 2 over here finished up, ready to go out tomorrow. And I'm booked. I've got like 12 more on the books, but it may not seem like a lot, but they keep coming in. In 2 weeks, I've done 43 deliveries. Plus this one goes out tomorrow. There's 2 in the morning, so there's 2 more. That'll take it to 45, and in 2 weeks, and they just keep coming in. You said most of your audience is the newbies thinking about going professional, and maybe on the fence on what they should do. My advice: the start of this year, I went independent. For the last 12, 13 years, I had been with an agent, exclusive with that agent, and I went independent this year, and it's doing real well. My suggestion to you is, if you can get an agent or 2 or 3, do it, because the agent's doing the work for you. They're out there getting the show. They call you up and they say, "Are you available?" You say yes. Then at that point, you sign a contract, go do the show. It's free money.
Roll in.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do anything.
You really don't have to do anything except show up and do a good job. If you are hired through an agent, you're representing that company, not yourself. So your business card better stay in your pocket. You better be passing out the agent's card, because that's not your client. That's not your event. That's theirs. And you will upset an agent, lose an agent, and get yourself blacklisted in an industry if you turn around and give out your card on somebody else's.
Fast. Yeah, I'll save the stories, but I've seen it happen.
Yes,
I've seen people
we all know somebody.
You're gone. Is it worth? It's really not worth it. Put the card away.
It's not worth it at all, because you got to think about this. If you go in and do your job and you do it well, the next time that if you're passing out your card, you're trying to get that client to hire you, right?
Right.
Well, just go in and do your job and do it well, because the next time they call, the way most of these agents work, you're automatically put back on the show. They use the same entertainer from the last time, or they're going to ask for you by name. So don't cut your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah.
Go in there and just focus on doing a good job and be thankful that you have work, because there's entertainers out there who don't have work.
Right.
So but yeah, that is an excellent way if you're trying to make a living and get started in the industry. That gets you the experience that you need. There's so much experience that you learn from each event. Every situation you're going to learn from and get better. And you'll never master it. I've done this 28 years. I've still got more to learn. And I'm always going to find flaws or something I need to fix and make it a little bit better, fine tune it a little bit more. Whether you're working on doing a pass, in Magic, you're always going to keep working. Sitting there watching TV and you got that deck of cards in your hands. You're always trying to fine tune anything you do.
Excellent. Ron, thank you so much. I think there's no better place to cut it than right there. So thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for all the advice and the help that you're offering for my audience. And it was great to be with you tonight.
Appreciate you having me. It's good to see you, and I look forward to getting out of this and getting back together, working again. And congratulations. I know you guys are only a couple weeks away from your new little one.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Give my love to your family. I'll talk to you soon.
Will. Tell Everett I said hi. Tell your wife I said hi as well.
You bet, Ron. Take care of yourself.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.